separate outages being reported, and over 15,000 people. And as I'm talking here, I'm trying to pull up the CPS Energy Power, the outage map here, just to get an updated. So right now, okay, it's gone up. There are 487 outages being reported right now, affecting 18,755 CPS Energy customers. And one of those outages, in fact, is a large section on the west side there, which would be in this area. But again, this is Highway 151 near Pin Road, and we're just continuing to watch this here as we approach the top of the hour. And of course, have an entire hour of Fox News Midday coming with complete coverage of all of this flooding here from around the viewing area. So we're gonna stay with this at the top of the hour, and Brianna Barrs is going to walk in here momentarily as we get ready for the show here. She's been tweeting this out, and we've been following this all morning long since the 7 o'clock hour this morning, when these systems, one from the north and then one from the west, collided over northwest Bexar County, northwest San Antonio. And rain continues to fall here. We're at 410 in Babcock. I know, Brianna, the rain continues to fall here over the station right now.
I know when we first saw this image, we were a little bit in shock. We didn't know if the driver was in his car. Now we can see he's wearing a pink shirt with his backpack on top of that vehicle. We had reported earlier that there were heavy rain. Sean calls it puddling in the roadways, and it wasn't being taken too serious, but we said it all morning, and Ernie has already told you that's why they say turn around, don't drown, because of situations like this. You almost believe it's not possible, or a silly little saying, but
yeah,
Ernie,
well, no,
we're seeing it.
For those of us who've driven to work at, at 3 in the morning and it's ponding, those big puddles that can really do damage to your car, and of course this is much larger than that right now. We are going to stay with you to the top of the hour. Sean is actually here with us as well, and Sean, feel free to jump in here if you have any other information to pass along.
Well, obviously, flash flooding is still a huge issue, and the flash flood watch initially set to expire 10:15, but the rain continues to fall. So these creeks, these rivers, I don't think they're on the rise, but they're not dropping. If they are, it is very minor, and you can obviously see what we're dealing with those creeks and rivers around the area. So just be extra cautious on the roads. And
the camera's moving right there.
Oh, they got a raft they're going to bring in, looks like there.
Okay, yeah. So I was going to say, because I'm thinking it would be too dangerous to risk having, sometimes they'll tether the rescuers to a line or something, and they'll try to walk across or maneuver their way across to get to this person. That would seem to be a little too dangerous, so they are, as you can see, they're bringing in a raft.
I've even heard of a helicopter coming down, dropping a ladder, but maybe that's the most extreme of situations. Maybe they're hoping they can use this raft to hopefully grab him out. But Sean, I have a quick question.
We're actually going to stop here at the top of the hour right now in about 5 seconds here. We're going to pause right now as we begin Fox News Midday. We'll continue our coverage right now here in just a few seconds.
This is Fox News Midday.
Hi, Ernie Zuniga, Brianna Barrs here with you as we continue our live coverage here. This high water rescue underway along Highway 151 and Pin Road on the west side. And for the last half hour or so, we've seen this gentleman sitting on top of this vehicle that is stuck in the middle of Pin Road. We see there to the left San Antonio fire crews trying to extend a ladder out to them. And Brianna, within the last few moments, we see what appears to be a raft appearing on the scene.
Right, as you can see, there's a ladder in the left part of your screen that's really not reaching him, so they're going to try a raft. I was saying earlier, I've seen maybe a helicopter brought in, a ladder drop down. Hopefully they'll rescue this guy. We've been monitoring it for a while now, and it appears that the water seems to be rising. His car wasn't as submerged as it is now.
And we saw another vehicle at 151 and 410 that was submerged, and we watched it throughout the morning as the water rose above the headlights and then higher and higher. You have to understand, though, if you're just watching this, there is a bridge underneath that water there, so just to be able to walk across, or say just take that raft and just float across there, it is much easier said than done. Sean Stevens is here, of course, and as we talk, more rain continues to fall.
Yeah, it just doesn't quit. I mean, you can see we are under a flash flood warning for Bexar County through 12:15 this afternoon. Bandera and Medina counties' flash flood warnings have been dropped, but obviously Bexar County, the water is still very high at those low water crossings, and it is rushing through, and that's the problem. You see how fast that water is moving. When water's moving that fast, it only takes about 1.5 foot, 18 inches of water to move your car, and to move it very quickly. And his car, I'm sure, has been moved in and pinned there on the, looks like some concrete, maybe some steel railings and barriers that has it pinned alongside of that little bridge that he's on and stuck there. But that's a scary situation, obviously, for this this gentleman here on top of this car. Don't make it for you as well. Avoid these low water crossings. If you see water on the roadways, don't attempt to drive through. It is almost always deeper than it looks and moving quicker than it looks. And like I said, it just takes 18 inches of water to get the car up and moving. So very dangerous situation. But the rain is still falling. We're still seeing a good amount of rain in Bexar County. The real heavy rain has moved out, but we're left with isolated pockets of some good downpours and at least moderate rainfall for our area that will continue for another couple of hours because it's just stopping. It's not going to be moving much here as far as the rain goes over the next several hours. The heaviest rain actually right now is down in Atascosa, Wilson County. Pleasanton's seen some heavy rain at this moment, but they are not under a flash flood warning. They have not seen as much rain, nearly as much as we have in Bexar County. We've seen anywhere from 3 to 5+ inches of rain in parts of San Antonio, and it looks like mainly on the west side where we've seen the heaviest rain totals. And you can see they're prepping to make other efforts to rescue this gentleman here on top of this car. So again, we are at flash flood warning through 12:15 here in the afternoon for San Antonio, although the rain is tapering off. Doesn't look like it's raining all that heavy or much at all there at 151 and Penn Road, where this high water rescue is taking place right now. But upstream, it's still raining, and this is all coming down, and it's not improving. It doesn't look like it's getting a whole lot worse, but it definitely is not improving. We're going to see that scenario for at least another hour, where these creeks and low water crossings are going to probably hold where they're at least hold for another hour or so before we'll be seeing those waters start to die down. But that's scary. I'm not. Just don't want to see any more of this today.
And I know if you could speak to just this weather phenomenon that we saw this morning, I think it caught some people by surprise that we knew there were rain chances, but the fact that it all came together from two different directions was quite unique.
Yeah, and we were the bullseye. So we had a system that came in from the north, and that one, there was one forecast model that picked up on it, and it said that it would die out right as it hit the Bexar County line on the northern end, and we would get just a sprinkle. Well, obviously that was wrong. And none of them had the western wave that came through, and they merged the northern wave and the western wave right over Bexar County, right over the west side of Bexar County, which saw the heaviest rainfall. And that's why we have flash flooding now. And it's kind of just stalled out over us. As mentioned, the heaviest rain has moved to the south over Pleasanton to Wilson County, Floresville, Atascosa County. But we're still seeing rain on the backside of this and some little pockets of some thunder and lightning out to our west that will continue for another couple of hours, which will keep it very wet. Now, we needed rain, just didn't need this much this quickly. We're close to the record rainfall at the airport, so I have not yet beat it, but considering how much more rain we could see, I think the record's going to be falling today. It looks like we could see rain easily for another couple of hours, and then even more late this afternoon and into the evening, as we'll get some more storms firing up out to the northwest and moving in. But yeah, it's unexpected. It was nice to see rain, but this is too much, obviously.
This is a lot, and if you're just joining us, we are watching this at 151 near Penn Road. A young man is on top of his car as he's waiting for rescue teams to come in. It looks like they've got a raft going right there. And I can speak to this because we had a family friend, the floods in Austin a while back, several years now. Him and his daughter were driving. They got stuck like this. They saw a tree, a large tree that they were going to jump to. So they got on top of their car. The daughter jumped. She made it safely. He got out and tried to jump. The tree branch broke and took him under immediately. So this man is doing exactly what he's supposed to do, just sitting and waiting for the experts and the rescue crews to come in and get him. As you can see, they're kind of backing up this raft into the water, hopefully to go and rescue him. We don't know if it's going to work, though. I said earlier, sometimes we've seen helicopters come in and drop ladders. I think they're going to try, obviously, everything they can to get this rescued. Sean says it doesn't look like the water is rising too much. Like he said, it can't get any worse kind of than he is right now. So we're monitoring this.
Right, and we've talked to Chief Hurd, San Antonio Fire Chief Hurd in the past, and of course his firemen and women and rescuers, they've trained for these kinds of situations. And so if you're wondering, well, what's taking so long, or why aren't they doing anything? That's certainly not the case. trust me, out of the view of this camera shot, there was a lot of work underway right now, strategizing how best to get to this person without jeopardizing the safety of any of those rescuers. So you see the ladder there to the left, to the right outside that shot there, and you see another ladder now coming from the right. And we do have, I believe, another camera there. Okay, so our photographer JJ is getting this this here, and I believe JJ, are you able to talk to us or give us an idea of what you're seeing there?
Hi guys.
JJ, go ahead. You're live on the air here. Can you give us an idea? We see the raft being deployed right now, and a pair of ladders coming from either side there.
Yeah, the ladder trucks are coming from both sides. The water is rising considerably. When I first got here, the water, I mean, you can see the headlights of the truck. As you can see right now, the water is already above the hood and rising super fast. Firefighters are doing.
Yeah. No, I'm sorry, JJ. Go ahead.
I said firefighters are doing what they can to hurry this process here. They're busting out the raft, 2 ladder trucks, and moving as quickly as they can.
JJ, how long have you been out there? And you said this water is rising. So like in the last 30 minutes, what have you seen, or the last 20, however long you've been out there?
Well, the water was just under right above where the tires were, and you could see the headlights. But now it's way over the hood of the truck. I've been here a good 25 minutes, 30 minutes, and seen it rise considerably. You can't even see the wall barrier anymore.
And just to be clear, JJ, the gentleman is the only person. There was never anybody else in the car. You haven't seen anybody else, just this one man?
I have not seen anybody else. He has been sitting on top of his truck for a while now. As you can see, firefighters are coming over here with gear.
Yeah, we can see that.
Tell
us, it looks like the fire trucks have extended their ladders. Are they going to rescue him through the ladders, hopefully, or are they going to do it through the boat or the raft?
They're going to first try with the ladder trucks. I think the boat is just a standby in case he falls in.
Right.
They're able to go after him on the other side.
And are they kind of, it looks like they're just going to throw a rope to him and kind of reel him in?
At this point, I think that's what they're going to do. I believe that's as far as the ladder truck can extend right now.
Yeah, I was just going to say, they're just it looks like they're just a few feet away, but they cannot extend any further.
Correct.
Well, and you know what, you make a good point, because just since we've been on the air for the last 10 minutes, we have seen the water definitely has risen, that level there. So you know, the clock is certainly ticking here, and we first saw that ladder on the left come out, and it seems like the ladder on the right now is obviously much closer now, and so we're all watching this happen again, and JJ will stand by here for us here. If you're just joining us or you're seeing this on social media, this is Highway 151 near Pin Road, south of 151, inside Loop 410 on the west side of town right now. An area that it's no stranger to flooding. This certainly is an extreme, and of course a very dangerous situation that we've been watching for the last half hour unfold as this gentleman tried to cross Pin Road, and that there is a bridge right there. Obviously did not make it, so he took to the top of the car and has been sitting on that car for the better part of half an hour, and we've just been watching this unfold live.
And JJ, just to give us an idea of how deep this water is right now, his truck, does that look like a Jeep or an SUV?
It is an SUV. As you can see, the firefighters are bringing a ladder right now to try to extend to his truck.
Okay.
And
Excuse me, SUV.
also, JJ, so people are commenting, and you see it looks like an extension ladder now being brought out here. Someone mentioned the idea, and Brianna alluded to the fact about bringing in a helicopter, but above, are there power lines, or would a helicopter not be an option right now?
Yeah, no, helicopter's not an option. As you can see right now, look at the power lines up there from top.
Okay, that makes sense. So then now there you have it. All right, so we're going to let JJ go. I believe we're standing by for Chief Hurd. Is that right? Chief Charles Hurd will join us here momentarily as we watch this. Again, an extension ladder now being extended to this victim here, and you can see the resistance there they're getting with just the sheer force of that water. There's at least, what, 2 or 3 people there, and yeah, this is something not a lot of us have seen.
And we're all kind of holding our breath. Hopefully they can get it to work and the rescue will be flawless. But again, this is the prime example of why you don't drown, turn around. Right,
and goodness, yeah, I mean, it's almost as if this extension ladder hopefully can reach out there, and now you're going to have this victim grab onto that and then somehow make its way back to the truck, the ladder truck.
Right. While you can see the rescue crew, he's kind of holding on to that ladder. You've got two of them holding on while the person stranded is going to try and climb that. They're having some difficulty, though, maneuvering that and getting it onto the truck for him to climb over and get that. But it looks like, are they taking it back now?
Well, we're doing our best play-by-play here. We're watching all of this happen in real time here. This is all unfolding, and right now, again, we're just hoping for the best. And again, as JJ said, just this one man, this one person on top of the SUV right there, and JJ is working the camera for us here, trying to get us the drama. Chief Hurd is joining us now. Chief Charles Hurd of the San Antonio Fire Department. Chief, if you can hear us here, explain what's happening right now and how dangerous this is.
Hey, good morning, Ernie. What you're seeing right now is a very dangerous evolution, and it's a reminder of why people should stay out of low-lying areas like this. Some of our swiftwater rescue members are basically trying to put an extension ladder out to this vehicle. We don't have enough reach to get to this gentleman. So this is a very dangerous evolution for us. So we're going to try to stabilize that ladder and put some flotation device on this gentleman and bring him across if we can do that. We have members of our department that are downstream in an effort to catch him with throw bags if he does go into the water, or any of our members that could go in this water. So, Ernie, this is really, really dangerous for us. So we're going to watch this just like you, but this is just evidence of how dangerous these rescues can be. The thing that we don't know is what's flowing underneath. You could have logs, large debris, something that could dislodge this vehicle, and the road could be eroding right underneath it as we speak. So those are some of the challenges for us. The gentleman on this vehicle, he's going to be cold. People that are in water like this can suffer hypothermia very quickly. Although it's summertime, it's still really, really cold for him. So we're going to try to get him out as quick and as safely as we can. But this is a challenge for us because the stretch of road is so wide. We do not have a ladder that's able to get out there. And due to the weather, I don't know if we have a helicopter up right now, or long lining him might not be an option right now. So this is the best option that we're working with right now. We'll just kind of hope we can get this guy off. But you're going to see one of our firefighters going across with a flotation device that he's going to give to this gentleman, and he's going to give him a rope. So he's going to have a throw bag in his hand, and he's taking that out there right now. And we're going to go ahead and put that jacket on him in case he goes into the water.
And you've been training for situations like this. Your crews are very well trained. We're seeing, our viewers can see that ladder right now, but there is a raft off to the side. So you have plan B and plan C in place just in case something were to happen.
Yeah, you know what, we do have, I wouldn't say plan A, plan B, plan C, but we do have some plans, because there's a chance that these three gentlemen that you see right now could be in that water any second. And so we do have a boat downstream, and you can see that large piece of debris floating by the back of that truck right now. But we do have people downstream just in case this vehicle is dislodged from the railing where it is and somebody goes in the water.
And Chief, people are watching this on social media. Some have asked, well, why not a helicopter? And there are power lines there. You can't necessarily see it. So a helicopter, I would think, would not be a practical solution given the danger, the inherent danger of having power lines there.
Yeah, Ernie, that's a good call, too. You got power lines right there, and we still have weather dealing with. So we don't know what those options were, but absolutely, we're going to always go with the best option we can, and this is, unfortunately, looks like the best one we can. And so hopefully, once they get this ladder stabilized, which is what they're doing, then we can crawl him back across over to the tip of that ladder truck.
Can you give us an idea here? We saw, just in terms of the scale and the distances, we saw these trucks, these ladders extending as this man comes across. How far out can you extend those ladders?
You know, Ernie, the ladders are 100-foot ladder. But again, in this operation, I'm really not sure how far they could extend, because you have to back the truck up to the bank of whatever you're in, and that has to be stable enough to where you're not going to lose the truck. So thank God this guy is looks like he's going to get across, and he's in a stable position now. So we'll be able to walk him back across and then get my rescuer off. And that's an amazing rescue. I'm just sitting here watching. I'm really proud of my guys that they got this gentleman off safely. But again, we just want to remind people the dangers of driving in low-lying areas such as this.
And not to mention the legal ramifications here. I mean, we talk about turn around, don't drown, but obviously driving around barricades or doing these kinds of things can lead to fines or much worse.
Absolutely, it could lead to fines, but it also it enables us to respond to other people that need us, because we have a ton of resources out there for one individual on a day when we've had 7 structure fires because of lightning and 26 other water-related runs that we've had. So very busy morning for us, but this has taken a lot of resources for us to safely get this gentleman out of this low-lying area.
So from your vantage point, as you're watching this on TV, did this play out textbook? I mean, the best way you would have expected it to?
You know, it plays out textbook if everybody's able to survive it. And, you know, you always have a concern for the citizens, but as a fire chief, I have a great concern for the members, and so they were able to execute this safely up to this time, so we're really proud of that. So textbook, yeah, I guess you could call it textbook, but again, if we don't have to do these type of things, we prefer not to.
Well, once again, hats off to you, Chief, and a very tense morning to say the least. Thank you for your time, and we salute the fire department again and those rescuers who have rescued this man successfully off of that car. We appreciate it.
Ernie, thanks. We'll see you next week.
Okay. Wow.
Busy, stressful morning. That was very intense. And you heard him on the phone. This is just one of 26 other different calls relating to flooding and rain. He said there were some other fire calls.
Right. And we plan to talk about that here in just a little bit right now. But the weather obviously is the big headline here. And Sean's back with us now to talk about what's happening right now.
Well, thank goodness that gentleman is going to be okay. That was awesome to see. And yeah, as Chief Hood said, man, that was incredible what those rescue workers did. We are still seeing rain. It's still coming down now. The intensity is letting up. We still have some lightning strikes in Bexar County. The worst of it now is from Cotulla through Pleasanton to Floresville. But fortunately, those areas have not seen the intense amount of rain that we've seen. We're still under a flash flood warning for Bexar County. But you can see a nice little cell out there around Divine. That'll be moving to the east, and with southern Bexar County, we'll be seeing some of that. But you can still see some pockets of heavier rain. The far northwest side, Bandera, Hondo, in the clear. Not that we're going to be completely done for the rest of the day, but at least they're in the clear for now. So it is beginning to fade out in places, but again, still very intense down 37. And this wave is moving to the east-northeast slowly. So Pleasanton, you still have at least another half hour to an hour more of rain. Floresville as well. And we expect that to continue to move east-southeast with even more rain out to the west that will eventually work back in. We have a shot for even more afternoon storms. And, well, our highs are going to be about 90 degrees today, but it'll be very humid. I'll be showing you how much more rain than later in the week that will be coming. But right now, our chief meteorologist, Alex Garcia, is out in our storm tracker. Alex, where are you and what are you experiencing?
We're at 410 heading over to 37 now. We've seen some mainly light rain out across the area. But the idea is we've been looking at some of the storm totals in this region right here, and they're coming back at about 3.5 to almost 4 inches of rain this morning right in this area here. And this is where the bigger storms are moving through southern Bexar County, around 37, 35, around 410. We're looking at a third round yet that's just coming around and should be crossing 35 shortly. So again, we're not out of the woods. I'm thinking, as Sean is thinking, we're probably going to see another round of this a little bit later on this afternoon with an almost instant replay. And with the ground already being kind of saturated, we could get into flash flood situation rather quickly.
That's exactly what I'm thinking as well. Thanks, Alex Garcia, our chief meteorologist out there in our storm tracker on the roads. And again, we are under a flash flood warning here in San Antonio that goes through 12:15, and the rain is beginning to ease up and settle a bit. But as we just saw from that high water rescue, it's going to be sticking around for a while. The high water, low water crossings are going to stay flooded for a while. But flash flood warning through 12:15, and hopefully that won't be extended. Hopefully we'll see that rain begin to taper off as it is beginning to, as we're seeing right now. But it's still raining in many spots, so be extra cautious as you head out and about.
Happening right now because of that flooding and flash flooding. Some evacuations have been ordered in Leon Valley.
Yeah, very emotional morning for these homeowners here. They were being impacted in the area of Post Road and Cherry Leaf. Amanda Weber is live in Leon Valley to bring us up to date on what's happening there. Amanda.
Ernie and Brianna, we're along Post Road. We are along Huebner Creek. Look at the water out here. Look at how high the water has risen in this creek this morning. We've been out here since about 9 o'clock this morning, and gradually every half hour it gets higher and higher and stronger and stronger. As you said, 6 houses along this creek, along Post Road, have been evacuated. All of those homeowners asked to leave. They were given the option to go to Marshall High School, where they're having an emergency shelter, which is being managed by the American Red Cross there. Or many of those folks, the fire department telling us, it either went with other friends and family in the area until they're allowed back into this area. But you can see with this water why they were asked to leave their homes here. It's just too risky. Now, we spoke with Fire Chief Luis Valdez earlier this morning. He told us last year they had to close the roads 26 times in this area due to flooding. He said, unfortunately, they are just used to this situation and they are very prepared.
Fortunately, we're very accustomed to having to evacuate homes in Leon Valley because of flooding. And we were able to, that's why we have a flood emergency response plan. That's why we have the guide. That's why we use social media. And it's because we're accustomed to having to do this.
Now, he also told us VIA is on standby for a mass evacuation in this area. He said if more homes have to be evacuated, VIA is on standby. They also have Balcones Heights and Castle Hills Fire and Police on standby to help their crews right now. Everyone involved in the Leon Valley Police Department and everyone involved in the Leon Valley Fire Department is working this morning to make sure folks in this area are safe. We're going to continue to be out here. We'll have another live update coming up later on the newscast. Amanda Weber, Fox News Midday.
All right, well, as Amanda said, many of the people who've been ordered to evacuate are now at John Marshall High School.
That's where an emergency shelter has been set up. Fox San Antonio's Zach Hedrick is there with that.
Good morning, everyone. We're here at John Marshall High School. This is the evacuation center for the Leon Valley area, we're being told right now. That's from the police chief of Leon Valley. Just a few minutes ago, actually, I want to walk you over this way. The Red Cross disaster relief truck just showed up here a few moments ago. They're assisting with this evacuation center right now. I just checked with some Red Cross people a few minutes ago. Only 3 people have shown up so far, but they're going to keep this evacuation center open for as long as they need it. School officials here are telling me that they have showers, bathrooms, refrigeration space, so if you want to bring food, that's possible. So they're set up here for anybody who may need this space in the next 24 hours. Some folks from the Bexar County Emergency Management Office tell me that they are expecting more rain to move into the area. So more flooding in Leon Valley is possible throughout the rest of the day. As far as supplies, they say they're good right now. Don't bring any here to Marshall High School. Wait and see what happens as more rain moves through Leon Valley. The city might say that those supplies that you want to donate might need to be taken someplace else. So again, only 3 people have been here so far, have been evacuated, who have shown up here. They're doing pretty well. I just spoke to a woman a little while ago. She had some flooding back behind her house. She came here, showed up with some food, some water to help everybody out. So again, everybody in good spirits so far, just waiting this rain out, see what the next step is here. Reporting on the northwest side, Zach Hedrick, Fox News Midday.
All right, thank you, Zach. Well, another scene here, a stalled car stuck in high water. This is on the access road of Highway 151 under Loop 410. We've been told that no one is in this car. The San Antonio Fire Department's responded to 15 locations where vehicles were stalled in high water, including the one we saw a moment ago at Penn Road. But luckily, everyone so far has made it out okay.
And Claudia, we've been reporting on this since the 7:20 hour, about 7:20, and it just seems to get worse and worse. How are those roadways looking right now?
You're absolutely right. It's been so hazardous all morning long, and the rain has not stopped. Right now, we're still on high traffic alerts, not only because your driving conditions are in bad shape, but also we're still seeing accidents and flooding zones. These are the areas to be careful and watch for as you head out. I-35 northbound after 281 still considered to be flooding. I-10 westbound, the upper and lower level splits are also flooded in Penn Road south of 151, where we just saw that incredible rescue. Current water rescue, Penn Road near 151. I will take that off shortly, as we just saw that in much better shape. 90 at Leon Creek. For those of you on the southwest part of town, please watch for this. Turn around, do not drown, as we're seeing the circumstances of what could potentially happen if you try to get through low water crossings like this one. And the entire city of San Antonio, as of now, still dealing with some rain. You can see the roadways on the TransGuide cameras, not only here, but for 35 at San Marcos. You've got emergency responders pretty much everywhere responding to flooding. 35 at Flores, watch for that lower level, a lot of water accumulation, and 35 at Alamo as well. We also have a lot of accidents out there now. 1604 westbound after 281, 281 at Stone Oak, and 1604 westbound after 281. A lot of accidents, so please be safe, buckle up. We'll continue to bring you the latest updates with on-time traffic.
Well, amidst all of this rain, we've also seen multiple fires, and we just received some new video of one of those fires from a viewer. Now, Michelle Akatani, she captured flames shooting from the roof of a home in Alamo Ranch. It's on the far west side, outside Loop 1604 this morning. Look at that. Now, we spoke with the fire department about this fire about 45 minutes ago, and they say there was a lot of damage to the roof of the home, and they're still looking into what sparked the fire. Now, we have another view of the same scene that was a little bit later when our crew arrived, and look at the damage right there. Now, it's a gated community, so we were not able to get too close. No word on any injuries right now. And while the cause of this fire is unknown, lightning is being blamed for fires all around the San Antonio area. In fact, the San Antonio Fire Department says that they responded to 5 fires before 9 this morning that all involved lightning strikes. From the live desk, I'm Ashley Sutton.
Right now, nearly 16,000 residents are without power. This is a live look at CPS's energy outage map. As you can see, most of the homes and businesses affected are on the west side. Now, we'll continue to follow this for you on air and online, foxsanantonio.com.
Another news this morning. Right now, Floresville police are investigating after 2 people were shot at a motel this morning. The man and woman were taken to a San Antonio hospital for treatment, but there's no word at this time on their conditions. Now, we were there this morning when officers were processing the scene. A black pickup truck was searched and later taken away. The Floresville Police Department referred us to the city manager, but she had no additional information at this time. We'll continue to follow this developing story out of Floresville.
Happening today, San Antonio Mayor Ron Nierenberg is headed to Austin for a meeting with the governor. Nierenberg says about 18 mayors from across the state have requested a meeting with Governor Greg Abbott. He says they all want to voice their concerns about proposed legislation regarding property tax bills that could weaken the ability of municipalities to control tax rates. There is the SB 4, or Sanctuary Cities Law, and the controversial bathroom bill, which has the mayors concerned about losing millions of tourism dollars.
We already have negative impacts from that. We have conventions and visitors that don't want to come to Texas that have said that they're not coming now because of legislation that has been even proposed. And that's part of the story, is that we don't need to battle on things that are not part of the core services of the state. We want to make sure that we have good economic development opportunities for our state and for our local communities to make sure that we have a quality city.
Mayor Nierenberg is not sure much time he will have to discuss issues with Governor Abbott, but that meeting is set for this afternoon. More money for Mickey Mouse. Coming up, the staggering cost to visit a Disney park and how much ticket prices have gone up in the past 20 years.
Still tracking some heavy rain in the area, including right here in San Antonio, where we're under a flash flood warning for another 45 minutes. Now, I'll give you a look, though, at how much more rain we're going to see throughout the rest of the day today and throughout the rest of your work week, coming up here on Fox News Midday.
Now, first warning weather with meteorologist Sean Stevens.
33 here on this stormy Monday, and what flash flood warning continues for Bexar County, and we have flood advisories for Pearsall and parts of Atascosa County. The worst of the rain right now is actually down towards Floresville and Pleasanton, but San Antonio, as you can see on our Doppler, I have it zoomed in here, we still have pockets with some moderate to heavy rainfall, and there's a lightning strike right there on the northwest side, just inside 410, another one right on the near Castroville, a couple near Castroville. So the rain continues. Now, far northwest up to Bandera, northwest Bexar County, beginning to see a little bit of a dry spell and relief and a dry slot, but there's more rain out to the west. It's going to wrap around this low. So So some of this could be working throughout the rest of the afternoon and hit and miss spots. But it's picking up to our west and down 35 and 37. And so we're not done yet. But San Antonio, Bexar County, we're the only spot with a flash flood warning currently. Pleasanton, heavy rain down towards Cotulla with the thunder and lightning. And that will cause definitely some good ponding and minor flooding on roadways into Floresville, Pleasanton, Cotulla. But again, San Antonio, we're still dealing with that. And these storms are moving about 20 miles an hour. So Floresville, this nice little cell that's south of Jordanton is going to be coming into your area. It looks like around 12:27, 12:30. This wave is moving to the east-northeast, but slowly. Our World weather camera looking gray, gloomy. We're 72 with rain, and it feels like 72. It's going to be a cool day. I think we'll warm up to 92 if we're lucky. But we got a shot at more late afternoon and early evening storms. I don't expect much, but with the saturated ground, it could be flash flooding. Now, I hope our TrueView forecast is correct because it keeps everything out to the west this afternoon and evening. And by the way, we've set a record for rainfall for this day of the year. You know, it's now the wettest day we've ever had. What is it, August 7th? Is that where we're at? Or is it 8th? I'm getting confused on the dates, but feels like I've been here 2 days already. But yeah, it's a record-breaking rainfall. We've had nearly 3 inches official at the airport. But we have a shot for more rain Tuesday, Wednesday, down to just a 20% chance on Thursday. And we're going to be in the low 90s with the wet weather, starting to warm back up on Thursday. And then the weekend's looking dry, but it's going to be hot and humid. Those upper 90s will feel like 105 or worse. But just keep that umbrella handy and keep in mind, turn around, don't drown, as this wet pattern will hold for a few more days.
In your Fox Finance, some of your everyday costs are growing faster than overall inflation.
Fox's Hillary Vaughn shows us what some of them are.
Americans are feeling the economic crunch. Common expenses are growing quicker than the overall inflation rate. This definitely includes the costs of college tuition. The College Board says tuition and fees at a 4-year public college jumped 225% over the past 2 decades.
Go into it with your eyes wide open and with a game plan. And I tell people all the time, don't go into student debt. Even if it takes you longer to go to school, go without student debt so you don't have that strapped around your neck.
Prescription drug prices have also been on the rise. In 2015, drug costs accounted for nearly 17% of healthcare spending. And from mid-2015 to mid-2016, they jumped by nearly 10%. Meanwhile, inflation only increased by 1%. Retire-inspired author Chris Hogan says it's possible to try to offset the cost of healthcare.
Look for generic drug options, make sure they're talking to their physician and not just taking the first thing prescribed, and truly understand what they need so they can walk through steps and figure out, is there a better, less cost prohibitive way of getting that medicine?
Most retirees are spending more money after claiming Social Security, according to an IRS and investment company Institute report. Lower income taxpayers replaced more of their spendable income. Middle income earners spent about the same as they did pre-retirement, and higher income earners spent slightly less. It's the most magical place on earth, but it's become quite expensive. 2 decades ago, Walt Disney Resorts charged around $39 for a single one-day adult ticket, but now it costs around $110. Prices have nearly tripled, averaging 5.3% annually, while inflation has averaged at 2.1% annually. Maybe it's time for adults to grow up and stop going to Disney World. After all, it's your cash. Hillary Vaughn, Fox Business.
All right, 11:37 now, and right back to the weather here after a break. Some residents were forced out of their homes just a short time ago.
Up next, who was evacuated due to the severe weather and where those people were taken. But first, here is Francie Black with your Tech Tango tip of the week.
August 21st promises to be a spectacular event for eclipse enthusiasts and for those with just a passing interest. The total solar eclipse will pass across the country from Salem, Oregon to Charleston, South Carolina. The free Eclipse Safari app keeps you fully informed on this unique experience. The countdown shows you the amount of time until first contact in Oregon. The news section keeps you informed of related events. On August 21st, you will be able to follow the eclipse across the country on an interactive map. Watch NASA's live stream and the Eclipse Twitter feed. In honor of the total eclipse, the app company is giving away a telescope, binoculars, and observing kits. Enter the giveaway for a chance to win. I'm Francie Black with your App of the Week. For a direct download link, visit techtangotoday.com.
It's 11:40, and you're watching Fox News Midday. I'm Ernie Zuniga.
And I'm Brianna Barrs. Lots going on weather-wise. Let's head to Sean right now.
Sure.
Sean, how long can we expect kind of this situation? And you said we could see a second dose of it.
Yeah, well, we could see some more afternoon storms, but a flash flood warning goes through 12:15 for San Antonio, and we're definitely seeing flash flood situation right now. Still seeing lightning strikes here in Barry County. The heaviest rain is around Cotulla, Pleasanton to Floresville, but we still have pockets of good rainfall here. This is the intensified Doppler radar, so yellow is more moderate. You have to get to the orange for heavy rainfall, so we definitely have moderate rainfall and still some lightning strikes left in town, and still flash flood situation going, so turn around, don't drown. So possibility of some late afternoon and evening storms are out there. We're only going to warn to the low 90s, but it'll still feel like 100 because it is very humid. Now, I'll be giving you a look at just how much more rain we're anticipating this week coming up here in just a bit.
All right, and right now we remain at the scene of some severe road flooding on the west side.
It's happening right along Penn Road near Highway 151. Fox San Antonio's Zach Hedrick is live. Zach, what's happening right now?
Hey, Brianna and Ernie. Yeah, high water rescue, a pretty dramatic high water rescue just wrapped up here within the past 10-15 minutes. Take a look right there. You can see it. It's that green SUV. That's where all of this centered around right now. Firefighters tell us what they were able to do is very tricky. As you can see, some more debris just rushing past that SUV right now. This was a pretty tricky situation. What they had to do is firefighters had to take a ladder truck, and over on that other side, you can see some groups there still lining up. Over on that other side, they had to extend that ladder truck. They weren't quite sure if they were actually going to be able to get it out there and reach that man who was sitting on the roof of that SUV right now. But after a while, they were able to extend it out far enough that that man sitting on the roof and firefighters were able to meet halfway. They were able to get him onto the ladder and back over to that other side safely. And that's the last that we latest update that we have of him, that he is doing okay right now. Again, a very tricky situation, but one that firefighters train for over and over again here. We just spoke with Chief Hurd a little while ago, and we're told that what is creating most of these flooding spots around the city right now is all the construction that's happening. It is increasing the flooding areas more so than what we would usually see. As you can see here, you know, more just flooding piling up, and it was pretty tricky situation, but again, that man was taken to the other side, and we're told that he is okay. Latest that we have here. So we'll continue to monitor this, and we're going to continue to follow up with Chief Hurd as several of these flooding spots around town, as he mentioned. Again, it was more construction areas that are adding and magnifying the flooding that is happening around the city here. So reporting live, Zach Hedrick, Fox News Midday.
Thank you, Zach. And also happening right now, some evacuations have been ordered in Leon Valley because of this morning's heavy rain.
And the homes being impacted are near the area of Poss Road and Cherry Leaf. Fox San Antonio's Amanda Weber is live in Leon Valley with more on that situation. Amanda.
Ernie, we're along Poss Road, right at Huebner Creek. Look at this. We showed you this early on in the newscast. Still a very strong, raging Huebner Creek out here. Very steady rain. We've been out here about 2 hours, and the rain has not let up. Just continuing to come, and this Huebner Creek continuing to grow higher and higher. As you said, about 6 houses on Poss Road had to be evacuated earlier this morning. Those folks told they could go to Marshall High School for an emergency shelter there that's being sponsored by the American Red Cross. A lot of those folks, the fire department said, either went with another friend or family. Now, as you said earlier, this could get worse, so they could have to evacuate more homes. VIA is on standby for a massive evacuation if needed in this area. Now, we spoke with the Leon Valley Fire Chief earlier this morning. He said last year they had to evacuate the roads here, or close the roads here, 26 times last year because of these raging waters here at Huebner Creek. He said, unfortunately, they've gotten used to this and they are very prepared.
Fortunately, we're very accustomed to having to evacuate homes in Leon Valley because of flooding. And we were able to, that's why we have a flood emergency response plan. That's why we have the guide. That's why we use social media. And it's because we're accustomed to having to do this.
And it's all hands on deck here for the Leon Valley Fire Department and Police Department. All units being used, everyone on staff. Balcones Heights and Castle Hills Police Departments are on standby if need be in this area. Now, the road closures out here, you guys, are very serious. You can just tell by how strong these waters are here at Huebner Creek. Any road closures in Leon Valley, as you guys have been saying this whole newscast, turn around, don't drown. We're going to continue to have updates on foxsanantonio.com. For now, we are live in Leon Valley. Amanda Weber, Fox News Midday.
All right, Amanda, all the rain is causing some big problems in terms of street flooding.
There are many roads closed because of the high waters. Our Christina De Leon joins us with that.
It's still raining here along the west side of town. We are along 90 westbound, the access road near Wolf Stadium, and you can see how high the water is rising along Leon Creek. It's almost 4 feet above where the road stops there, and there are no cars, no trucks, no vehicles at all along the access road here. You can see the water is still moving very heavily, and that's going to be a problem for anybody traveling on the west side of town. Really, any places that are with the low water crossing, you're going to have trouble. That not only includes 90 westbound, but also 35, parts of downtown, and throughout the city. This is one of the many spots around town. Now, luckily, we haven't heard of any cars getting stuck. Police have actually blocked off this area, not allowing any cars or other vehicles to come through here. As the rain continues to pour, you can expect that number to rise up there on that flood gauge. But the good news is we have not seen anybody stuck, nobody through that water, but the water is moving pretty heavily here as the water continues to come down here on the city's west side. We'll send it back to you.
Thank you, Christina. A brand new plan could help you cut down on your cell phone costs. Up next, T-Mobile's new offer that could get you a phone line for $10 a month.
Plus, Google grief, what a newly released memo is accusing the tech giant of, and what the company said in its defense. Our business news now. Turmoil at Google after an engineer released an anti-diversity memo. We're learning now that the unnamed employee's memo mentioned a number of things, including gender inequality in the technology industry to biological differences. The document also stating Google's left bias has created a politically correct monoculture. The company released a statement of its own denouncing the claims. Google's vice president of diversity, integrity, and governance responded, saying the engineer's essay advanced incorrect assumptions about gender.
T-Mobile is hoping to lure baby boomers with a new wireless plan. This morning, T-Mobile announced the T-Mobile One Unlimited 55-plus plan. People ages 55 and up can get up to 2 lines for just $60, including taxes and fees. The first line is $50 and the second line is just $10. But to qualify for the lower rates, you'll have to enroll in auto pay. New and existing customers can get the plan starting Wednesday.
Now, first warning weather with meteorologist Sean Stevens.
It's 11:50. The rain started falling in the 6 o'clock hour, and it's still falling here in San Antonio. We're seeing the yellows. This is the intensified Doppler, so the yellow is more moderate rainfall. We're not seeing any extreme heavy downpours. You have to get the orange with that, but a little bit of lightning still on the east, far east side of Bexar County, and most of San Antonio is seeing rain right now. We have a flash flood warning up for all of Bexar County through 12:15, and we have flash flood conditions happening with flooding in the area, so be extra careful. Now, you can see this drier slot in the center of this area of low pressure that's kind of coming through. So we're going to see this drier air work in here for the afternoon hours. But some of this rain is going to wrap around and it will hit our southern county. Some of them may work back into Bexar County, San Antonio later this afternoon. But Uvalde, Del Rio, you got the rain moving in right now. Same for Bracketville, the thunder and lightning. So that wave should come through fairly quickly. It'll be in Del Rio within the next 20 minutes. And then, of course, Bexar County, you can see, as mentioned, we still have some decent rain. And it's out there, Wilson County down towards Atascosa County and Cotulla with some good heavy rain and thunderstorms and possibly some small hail in that area as well. So this line here will be moving to the east and dropping slowly to the southeast. So Karnes City eventually, it may take an hour, but eventually this will work into your area. And the same for Hallettsville and Cuero and Gonzales. It's moving more to the east, but a little bit of a southerly flow along with it. So you're watching the satellite, the radar, it looks as if just not moving much at all, but there's a lot of movement to it. And we're still gray, dreary, wet in San Antonio. Still have thunderstorms in the vicinity at 72 degrees. If we're lucky, we'll hit 92. That's if the rain finally does come to an end. I think it will, but we still have a 40% chance for even more rain throughout the day. Our True View forecast, I hope this is accurate, keeps all the rain overnight out to our west and keeps us dry this afternoon, although I do think we still have a chance. And then we'll have a shot, 50% chance tomorrow, 40% chance on Wednesday. With the saturated ground, flash flooding could be a definite possibility, especially in the evening into the morning. morning hours into the afternoon. At any point, we could see a pop-up storm, so be careful. We'll be in the low to mid-90s, but feeling about 5 to 7 degrees hotter with the humidity.
A Republican congressman from our area was among thousands who gathered in Las Vegas for the annual cybersecurity event DEFCON.
Dan Bean with our digital partner Circa caught up with the Congressman Will Hurd to find out why he was there.
DEFCON is the biggest annual hacker convention in the country, where lockpicking and breaking into cars with laptops is encouraged. So why is this congressman a regular attendee among these security line steppers?
Hey America, I'm at DEFCON.
Well, for one, he's hoping to hire some of them.
We're going to be working on is this notion of a cyber national guard. We know there's not enough talented people to fill spots in government or industry. And so if you're a kid and you want to go to college in cybersecurity, we're going to get you a scholarship. But then you got to work in the government for, say, 4 years. But at Department of Interior, at Department of Homeland Security, at the U.S. Census Bureau, places where we need folks.
Republican Congressman Will Hurd is the chairman of the House IT subcommittee. So his plan to bring more coders and tech security experts into the government isn't the only tech-angled policy he's pulling for. He recently unveiled a plan that would swap out President Trump's proposed border wall for a smart border wall.
We can have sensors along the border that tells the difference between a bunny rabbit and a person. We can deploy a drone to detect a warning and track that, and it's a fraction of the cost.
Hurd came to this year's DEFCON, his third, to talk about his tech policies. But more than that, the ex-undercover CIA agent wanted to blend in and prove to the cybersecurity and hacker communities, who are sometimes frustrated with the federal government, that Congress does have some members who are on their side.
I'm frustrated too, right? There are a handful of us up in Washington, D.C. that have a familiarity with this topic and are trying to do the right thing.
And another reason Hurd comes to DEFCON, well, he still likes to learn things.
The evolution on connected cars and understanding what some of the security vulnerabilities around that are, that was something I wasn't prepared to see, but I did, and I think that's again a good reason why I come out to this, is because it definitely broadens my horizons.
For Circa, I'm Dan Bean.
For more on this story, log on to circa.com. We'll be right back.
While the rain continues to fall, although we are seeing a little dry slot that's starting to work in northwest Bexar County, Bandera, Medina County, but just be prepared. Turn around, don't drown. Storms coming to Del Rio, Brackettville, Uvalde. We're going to see hit and miss storms today for the next few days, so be extra cautious and avoid those flooded roads at all costs.
We know, yes, Amanda Weber was there. Some homes were evacuated. Lots going on. Keep up with us online at foxsanantonio.com.
We'll see you tomorrow morning.